104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. We are joined by Matt Ehalt from The Record. He covers the Mets. Let's get right into it. What's the latest on Noah Syndergaard, Matt?
Well, Noah is pretty much sidelined indefinitely with this partially torn lat muscle. Mets general manager Sandy Alderson said yesterday that it's going to be a considerable amount of time. He said it's going to be weeks, not days. And, if you look at other things like 2 years ago when Steven Matz had this injury, he missed 2 months. So this is something where when you look at the timetable, it's not unrealistic to think that you might not see Noah Syndergaard back before the All-Star break.
How much blame should be placed on the New York Mets organization, or is this Noah Syndergaard? The Mets suggested he get the MRI, and then Noah said no. Where's the blame fall here?
It's an interesting mix because on the one hand, you have Sandy Alderson said that the doctors told him yesterday that the bicep injury he had was not connected to the lat, that it did not cause it. On the other hand, you could also say that, hey, maybe if you get the MRI, maybe it shows a little something. Maybe you do see that maybe the tear was in there. With these type of injuries, it does seem that usually something is in there that triggers it. Maybe you have a little bit of a tear and then you do something that, exacerbates it. When you look at the whole situation, Sandy Alderson obviously defended the team yesterday, but it does not seem this was just handled all around. With Noah denying the MRI, Sandy Alderson has talked about perception. That's not a good look for the team with the player pretty much says, well, I don't want to do it. So, it's a whole thing, but I don't think the Mets, if you compare this one to Syndergaard, I think what the team did with Cespedes. I think how the team handled Cespedes was worse than it handled Syndergaard because I'm not really sure if anything they did the previous days might have prevented what happened this time.
Matt Ehalt with us. He covers the Mets for The Record he's right here on 104.5 The Team. So, Matt, you bring up the Cespedes injury. He falls in batting practice. Nobody pays attention. Syndergaard's going to be out for what looks like an extended period of time now. Slow start for a team that was supposed to go to the postseason. Is Terry Collins in legitimate trouble right now?
No, because, especially, he doesn't have his full team right now. You can't, it's hard to put the blame at his feet when he doesn't have the entire team. And, you look down, at the end of the day, a lot of these guys, look, Curtis Granderson is not hitting. Jose Reyes, up until the last few games, has been an automatic out. They're not getting the production out of their starting pitching that they had. Sometimes, I know it's easy to blame the manager, but at the end of the day, these guys are getting paid, however many $1 million to perform, and quite frankly, they're not doing it right now. So, yes, I know it's easy to look, Terry, but I think they would really have to bottom out, especially he's in the last year of his contract. And, he's shown that he can get the team to persevere through whatever issues they've had the last few years. Even you look now, they were 8-13 the other day going in to face Scherzer, Strasburg back-to-back. They beat them both. They beat Tehran last night. Terry usually does get the guys to play hard when it kind of seems that, all hope is lost.
Matt, just from what we're hearing on the phones and everything, that makes perfect sense, but fans never make sense. So there's no chance of, Sandy Alderson and everybody going, you know what, the fans are calling for blood, Terry, you're the guy.
I think you would have to see this team completely bottom out for that to happen. I think we'd be talking 30-50 or something, or 30, where basically it's this team's headed nowhere. I think that's the only way. And also, at the end of the day, the National League is so bad that I don't think the Mets, even at a compromised state, are going to be out of the race. Now, are they going to be able to keep pace with Washington? I don't know about that. Washington right now looks like the best team in the National League. But in terms of staying in the wild card race, unless you're the Padres or the Reds and you're not trying, it's almost you almost have to not try nowadays to not be in the wild card race.
Matt Ehalt with us right now from The Record. He covers the Mets, helping us out right now. Levack Goz on 104.5 The Team.
And you touched on the weakness of the National League overall. Is it as simple for the Mets as just get healthy and they're in the contention?
I think so, and I think even as they currently constituted, I think that they have a shot. The one thing to look at with the Mets and upcoming, so the Mets obviously have this. If you look at the Mets' upcoming schedule, including this, here are the next series that they have. They have Atlanta right now, who Atlanta is not that good. Miami, who is not that good. The Giants are completely, struggling. The Brewers, the Diamondbacks. Okay, the Diamondbacks are playing well. The Angels, Padres, Pirates, Milwaukee, Pirates, and then they go to Texas and Atlanta. I mean, that's pretty much they're going to get the next 40 days. They don't play anybody with a winning record except that one series against against Arizona. So, like, the Mets are really about to go through a stretch here where they're not going to play anybody. I mean, they're not going to play any team that's pretty much going to sniff, a possible division title here. So, I mean, there is the chance that the Mets can really fatten up here if they play, decently.
Matt, before the injury nonsense with Cespedes and Syndergaard and everything like that, it looked like the Mets were, a piece or two away from really going after it. And the last 2 years, they've done that. They've grabbed Cespedes, they've grabbed Jay Bruce. Buster Olney was on the show, and he said, don't be shocked if they go after Josh Donaldson from the Blue Jays. They had to keep Jay Bruce's money on the books. Do you think they'd still be buyers at the deadline if they were close?
I think, yes. I think they would be buyers because I think this is their best possibility to win right now. The thing with the Mets is when you look at it at the moment, they're kind of tight in where they can add and what they have. In that they have two very good prospects, obviously in the minors, and Ahmed Rosario is considered a universal top 5 prospect. When it comes to Dominic Smith, there's variance. Some people think he's going to be good. Some people think he's going to be great. It kind of depends on who you're talking to. Beyond that, the system drops off a little bit. Not saying it's not a good system, but the high-level guys are not there. And then when you look around this team, it's kind of tough to shoehole in guys. I mean, you look at when Cespedes comes back, they do have 4 outfielders for 3 spots. I mean, Curtis Anderson looks like his playing time should be cut, moving forward. But, I do think the Mets have the potential. I'm not sure about the payroll capability in terms of what they can add and just whether or not they have the frontline pieces to be able to get a guy that, the names that are going to be out there. Because obviously people, like you said, third base is a position that people are going to clamor if Jose Reyes does not, rebound. People are going to mention that as a spot. It'll just, you'll obviously have to see whether or not they have the pieces to and the financial capabilities to be able to add a frontline guy there.
Matt, you're the best. We appreciate you for making sense of this craziness that is the Mets right now.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.